Hey guys, it's Destiny, and today we're going to be discussing the upcoming banners in version 2.6 and who you should consider pulling. Before we get into today's video, let me know who you are the most excited for from what we've seen so far based on the reruns as well as upcoming characters. For me, I'd have to say Sunday and the new 5-star Taeyun for sure. I have also heard some people pretty excited for the possibility of a 5-star Herda based on what we were kind of teased in live stream. So I'd love to know what you guys are currently excited for. And lastly, if you guys enjoy videos like these, do make sure to subscribe to win your next 50/50 and also hit the like button to support the video. Now, let's get straight into it. To begin, let's go over the beginning of version 2.6, which will consist of Rappa and Heng Imbibitor Lunae as our 5-star options. Starting off with Rappa, she is an Imaginary Erudition character who is another break-centric character who focuses on breaking enemies to start dealing a bunch of damage onto them, similar to Firefly. Rappa will be able to reduce enemy toughness meters regardless of their element through a few aspects of her kit and also increase her weakness breaking efficiency, which can assist with her ensuring she breaks enemies and dealing a bunch of damage onto them. When it comes to Rappa's skill, it will hit all enemies with imaginary damage, and this is a nice way to deal AoE damage onto enemies, but Rappa's huge source of damage potential will be from using her ultimate. After Rappa uses her ultimate, she will enter the seal form state and enhance her basic attacks as well as receive 3 chroma ink stacks, which will indicate how many enhanced basic attacks she can use until she exits the seal form state. Rappa will be able to attack immediately after using her ultimate, which her ultimate's notable benefits would include increasing her weakness breaking efficiency, and as mentioned, this will assist with her breaking enemies a bit faster, plus she'll be able to reduce enemy toughness meters no matter the element they're weak to with her enhanced basic attacks. And this will help her even further with trying to ensure that enemies are weakness broken. As for her enhanced basic attacks themselves, the first 2 initial hits will hit a main enemy and adjacent, while the final hit will hit every enemy on the field. And because of the added benefits from her being in the seal form state, this will be a huge source of her damage potential. Something to also note, since Rappa is an imaginary character, when she does break enemies, they will be inflicted with imprisonment, which means it will take a while before their turn comes back up. Assuming that you are using her hypothetically with Harmony Trailblazer and Ruame, this will allow you to heavily delay enemies from actually being able to recover their toughness meter, which can assist with super break damage potential, since now you'll be able to inflict more instances of super break before that enemy is actually able to recover their toughness meter. So overall, Rappa has nice potential when it comes to being an AoE break damage dealer. However, she does have a few notable things to mention that could be considered flaws. While Rappa can reduce toughness meters regardless of an enemy's weakness type with her enhanced basic attacks, in my honest opinion, it would have been really nice if she had an imaginary weakness implant instead, because then Harmony Trailblazer would be able to further assist with weakness breaking enemies that weren't initially imaginary weak. Another huge thing to note is that some of Rappa's best partners are shared with Firefly, which can be Harmony Trailblazer, Ruame, and so on. So then it would come down to whether you feel like using Firefly or Rappa in that moment for your team comp, if you do already own Firefly herself. And while Rappa can have alternative partners, I would say Harmony Trailblazer is pretty huge for Rappa due to the additional super breaks, which is pretty beneficial for her potential. For those who are interested though to see how Rappa performs in various game modes, I will be uploading some showcases of her very soon, so stay tuned for that and do make sure to subscribe if you want to know when I do upload those videos. And these videos can help you get a really good idea of her value with numerous teams as well as her full kit. As for her banner's 4 stars though, it will be Lynx, Shui, and Yukong. The 4 stars are alright in my opinion. Lynx can be a decent sustain option if you don't have premium 5-star sustains or Gallagher. Shui can be a nice 4-star DPS option, and so on. I do feel like the 4-star selection though could have been a bit better though. As for Heng Imbibitor Lunae, the same applies when it comes to the 4-star selection. And as for his value, he is an imaginary destruction DPS who focuses on consuming multiple skill points in order to deal pretty strong AoE damage. For those who are fans of Heng Ayal, this could be an opportunity to potentially go for his second Eidolon. which can grant him 100% advance forward after using his ultimate, and this is highly beneficial for his potential. When it comes to his playstyle, he is revolved around the hyper carry playstyle, in which you'll want to amplify his damage output with supportive options as much as possible. He isn't a bad DPS option, but I would say if you're looking for a top meta DPS option for your account, then you might actually want to take a look at Acheron for this particular patch. Acheron will be in the second half of version 2.6, and she's a lightning nihility character who focuses on gaining /stream stacks to unleash her incredibly powerful ultimate, which with the assistance of allies inflicting debuffs onto enemies, this will allow Acheron to get her ultimate at a faster rate, as she is centered around being used with allies who are able to inflict debuffs, which of course would include our nihility roster, which she highly benefits from. Her ultimate will be able to deal very powerful AoE damage onto enemies as mentioned, as it is a major source of her damage output, and she will also be able to reduce an enemy's toughness meter regardless of their weakness type while using her ultimate. Acheron is currently one of the best DPS options in the game and does pretty well in practically any endgame mode. He's very powerful in Memory of Chaos, he does really good in Apocalyptic Shadow, and she can also perform nicely in Pure Fiction with Jiaoqiu, Kafka, and so on. You can also pair Acheron alongside one Nihility and one Harmony character depending on the team comp, as Sparkle and Robin are pretty powerful options on an Acheron team. If you are looking at her Eidolons, her E2 will be able to assist with getting her ultimate faster, and also being able to get the maximum boost from her trace, the Abyss, with only requiring one other Nihility character on the team rather than the two Nihility allies at E0. And that means that the Sparkle and Robin option when Acheron is E2 is even more viable now. Of course, you can do it when she is E0, but then you won't be able to take advantage of the maximum boost from the Abyss trace, unless of course I guess you go no sustain in that scenario. When it comes to Acheron's future potential though, she can improve with more Nihility allies coming out, as they may be able to further improve her potential with how Nihility / debuff centric she is. For example, Jiaoqiu was a nice addition for Acheron teams, as his Ashen Rose stacks and Ultimate's zone nicely improve her damage potential, and enemies being able to receive Ashen Rose stacks on their turns allows Acheron to now get more frequent /stream stacks, which now allows her to use her ultimate more frequently. So in my opinion, it just ends up being a pretty nice quality of life for Acheron, which shows how future Nihility character releases can be pretty nice for her depending on what that Nihility character can do, and if it can assist with her potentially dealing more damage, or being able to get her ultimate faster, whatever it may be. As for Acheron team options, she could take advantage of 4-star Nihility characters as well as 5 stars, which gives her versatile options in who you can use depending on your account. Pela is an excellent 4-star option that I highly recommend on an Acheron team, due to her providing AoE defense drops onto enemies, which can allow you to improve the damage output of the team, and other 4-star options can be viable as well, for example Gwenaifen. Let's say though that you did pull for Acheron in the past, but you did not end up getting her signature light cone. Her signature light cone is a very nice pickup for her, as it'll nicely improve her damage output, as well as provides nice quality of life with being able to inflict Mirage Fizzle onto an enemy, which is a debuff. As for Acheron's 4 stars on her banner, it'll be Sampo, March 7th, and Pela. Sampo's a nice option for damage over time centric teams, especially if you have Kafka but didn't end up getting Black Swan. Pela, as mentioned earlier, is an awesome option for Acheron teams, and in all honesty, Pela in general is just a very nice 4-star to consider investing into because of the fact that her defense drops can benefit a team's damage output, which makes her a pretty viable and flexible option for plenty of teams, so I would definitely say she is worth the investment. As for March 7th, she is alright, but I typically would recommend investing into premium 5-star sustains or a sustain like Gallagher instead. Overall, Acheron's banner is decent, nothing too crazy, but this can be a good opportunity to get Pela if you are a newer player and don't have her yet. Or even if you've been playing for a while and you haven't been able to get her, now is your chance to be able to potentially pick up a copy of Pela. Overall, Acheron is a pretty strong character to consider picking up, especially if you haven't gotten a copy of her yet, or if you are actually interested in her Lycon or Eidolons, that's also a pretty nice consideration. As for our final banner of 2.6, who is also in the second half alongside Acheron, it'll be Aventurine. Aventurine is an imaginary preservation character who is one of the best sustains in Star Rail, who can be used on plenty of teams because of his sustaining capabilities. Aventurine is able to provide very beefy shields, which are referred to as Fortified Wager. He can unleash follow-up attacks onto enemies once he has enough blind bet points, as well as provide a bit of additional shields after he unleashes his follow-up. Plus, whenever an ally gets hit by an enemy and they have Fortified Wager active, Aventurine will gain blind bet points, which can assist with Aventurine unleashing more frequent follow-up attacks. As an additional benefit, Aventurine shields can provide allies 50% additional effect resistance at level 10, which can assist with resisting really annoying debuffs. When Aventurine uses his ultimate, he'll gain blind bet points as well as inflict unnerved onto an enemy, which will increase the crit damage dealt to that enemy, and this will of course also be considered a debuff, so that can actually be pretty beneficial on an Acheron team. Aventurine is an incredible option for follow-up teams as he can advance forward Numbi if you're using Topaz, assist with Feixiao's ultimate stacks, and so on. As for Acheron teams, as I mentioned, since Aventurine can debuff enemies with his ultimate, and he can also potentially hold the Trend Market Light Cone, which makes him an even more viable option for Acheron teams. As for general teams, Aventurine provides amazing sustaining benefits as his shields will be able to provide a bunch of sustainability, which makes him a very nice option to consider picking up if you don't have too many sustain options on your account. Overall, when it comes to all the options in version 2.6, Rappa is a nice option if you're looking for an AoE break DPS, but if you have Firefly and are lacking other characters for other team archetypes, for example, let's say you don't have Acheron or you don't really have too many characters to help out with your follow-up team. Let's say you did go for Feixiao last patch, but you ended up deciding, okay, I'm gonna actually skip Linksha because I was hoping for Aventurine possibly next patch. Well, now Aventurine is an option, so that could be a consideration as well. It ultimately comes down to what team archetypes you're looking to potentially improve, or even if you're trying to build a completely new team. Let's say in the case, once again, if you don't have Acheron, now you can build an Acheron-centric team. So when considering these things, especially if you do have Firefly, then Rappa may not honestly be as much of a priority for your account unless you really like the character and her playstyle. I would personally say though, Acheron and Aventurine have the highest pull value in this patch. Acheron is a very strong DPS option you can use in numerous game modes, and as mentioned before, she does have the potential to improve in the future because of her being Nihility-centric, as whenever there's a new Nihility release, she could become even stronger depending on what that character provides the team. As for Aventurine, he is still one of the best sustain options and a very good option to consider if you don't have two premium sustains. For example, if you already have, let's say, Linksha and Huohuo, you just pulled for Linksha, then you could honestly consider a more supportive option such as the Harmony Path or even a DPS option depending on what you're lacking instead. And if you don't really care for the first half of version 2.6, I would highly recommend if you're on the fence between Acheron and Aventurine and the 2.7 characters being Sunday and the new 5-star Tengyun, I would actually recommend holding off on pulling and instead waiting until the 2.7 livestream as well as potential creator experience showcases to see more about the upcoming characters in 2.7, as well as finding out what those potential reruns are during that patch. While we do have Rappa in this patch, for those that may actually be looking forward to a Firefly rerun, Firefly may end up getting a rerun in 2.7. We aren't too sure, of course, but there is a possibility of that. So that is something to keep in mind. Plus, another thing about that is you'll also be able to find out the characters coming in the patch after 2.7 as well before the 2.7 livestream, which you never know, those characters may potentially interest you even more. Because of that, I always highly recommend before pulling on a second half of a version update, so the second half of 2.6 in this scenario, I would wait for the livestream and the drip marketing to see all of your potential options. Personally, I am very excited to see what Sunday will be able to do as he is an imaginary Harmony character, which our Harmony roster has been shown to have incredible benefits, especially as of recently. and that can be a very good reason to keep your eye out on future Harmony releases, just to see what they'll be able to provide. As for the new 5-star Tingyun, since she is a Fire and Agility character, she could also be pretty good depending on what she's able to provide team comps as well. So overall, if I were to give my final thoughts, I'd say the second half possesses a bit more value for version 2.6, but I would once again recommend to see what the drip marketing will be, as well as see what our 2.7 characters will be able to provide if you do decide to skip Rappa and Heng Imbibitor Lunae's banners. I'd love to know though who you all plan to go for when it comes to our upcoming characters. If you guys did enjoy this video, do make sure to subscribe and hit the like button to support the video, and I hope you all have a great one. Peace.